So what's expected for a seller on the closing day? Just like the buyer, the seller will be expected to bring their identification to the law firm. They're going to be confirmed who they say they actually are. After that confirmation, there's several documents that the seller will sign. The most important being the deed, which actually transfers the property from the seller to the buyer. Now, once the seller signs the documents, at that point, the law firm will ensure that they've received all the money they need to for the transaction. So the buyer will have to ensure that they've sent all the money they're needed to. If there's a bank, the bank will have to make sure that they've sent the amount for the mortgage to the title company. And once all the documents are signed, once all the monies are received, then at that point, the closing in the real estate terminology is officially closed or funded. And what funding means is that the law firm has funded the transaction, has begun to disperse the money for the transaction to all the parties involved, and then the possession of the property is then given to the buyer. And possession normally signifies that the keys are being passed from the seller to the buyer. An important aspect in order to prepare for closing, if you're wondering what you need to do in order to prepare for a real estate closing, is you need to make sure that you have your identifications in place. Unless you personally know someone at the law firm or title company, you're going to have to bring your identification. I can't stress that enough. The second aspect, what you can do to prepare for a closing, is you can make sure that you contact all of your vendors that will or are currently affecting the property, right? So what do I mean by this? I mean, you can contact your trash company, your Wi-Fi and cable company. You can contact the utilities company. You've got your water bill, you've got your electric bill. So all of these different vendors, if you're the seller, you're going to need their services are terminated at the time of closing. A common question that I get asked is, can I terminate them before closing? And you can terminate some of them, but as a seller, you've got the obligation to make sure that the property remains in the physical condition that it was when you signed the contract. So I caution sellers to not turn off electricity, to not turn off air conditioning, to not turn off certain utilities that affect the property, because certainly in Florida, in summertime, it's very humid and the opportunity for mold can certainly set in very quickly in the event that there's no air conditioning.